this game was not going to end with one goal. We knew that before this game started. I think the important thing that we get out of game one in round two is that lesson that every year I learn and then I got to learn it all over again. The team with a bunch of rest, not necessarily the team that is the better team in the next round. The next round, it's a whole new ball game. Rest is great, but the team that's been playing and playing and playing, they play an 82-game schedule. They play basically every other night. In the playoffs, it's guaranteed to be every other night. Sometimes they get an extra day off. So we always sort of we overreact to who's played more games, I think. And tonight may be another example of that. And yet, Gabriel Bourque scores from Makar and Jost early. 2:10 into the game. I had to make note at the time because, you know, for Sharks fans, it had to be, oh, no, not that Martin Jones. We don't, no, not like, because of course with Vegas, they were allowing goals the first minute and a half, and it had to kind of feel similar. And the Avs controlled it early. And that's despite them taking penalties. They took, I believe they took the two penalties early. This was not a penalty-filled game. This was a game that featured some very solid play by both teams. But the Avs, I thought, had some control. And then Nyquist scores. So Gustav Nyquist scores from Burns and Couture. And Gustav has been getting better as a member of the Sharks. Struggled in the beginning there. Of course, getting traded over from an organization you've been a part of for about a decade. You're going to take a little while to get your feet wet and figure out what you're doing with the new team. So Nyquist scores to tie it. Then Rantanen scores. And, you know, they pointed it out on the replay, and this is true. Mikko Rantanen didn't celebrate. He knew he had kicked that puck in the net. He didn't for a moment throw his arms in the air. Like, Brad Marchand could pull him aside and go, hey, kid, listen. You party like you hit that in with your stick, and you need to start screaming and yelling when they get that replay up there. No, Rantanen was at the bench kind of like head down, and yeah, he knew he had kicked it in the net. So they do the review, distinct kicking motion, no goal, and he has to be terrible at poker because, yeah, that was, he knew. And kudos to him for not faking it, but at the NHL level, you've got to kind of fake it just a little bit. So it's 1-1 after one because of that. Second period, Wilson scores from Rantanen and McKinnon. So still, despite them having that goal taken back, they're still up 2-1. It's a power play goal, and I'm thinking, I don't know. I think maybe Colorado's going to pull this one out, and they're going to win on the road, and we're going to see a number 8 seed with a 1-0 series lead, and we're going to see both road teams win tonight. Getting ahead of myself, of course. Then a 4-minute high stick was called against the Sharks soon after that. So, you know, the momentum picking up, but it's killed off by the San Jose Sharks. Thornton then scores from Sorensen, and that goal was beautiful. That was a fantastic pass by Sorensen. LeBanc then scores from Burns. You know, I've been a big Kevin LeBanc supporter for years. It is nice to see the offense finally catching up with the hard work. He's one of the hardest working players in the National Hockey League, and he works on every single shift. And now the offense is matching that work ethic. And look out. I'm thinking he's going to have a big year next year. So that makes it 3-2 for San Jose in kind of quick succession as well. And I wrote down here, Sharks look better in the second. The first period, Colorado outshot them 13-9. Colorado was the better team. But as this game went along, the Sharks got kind of into it, and any advantage that Colorado may have had from being rested disappeared. And then Brent Burns scores from Sorensen and Thornton. This was the best game I've seen Sorensen have in the playoffs so far, and Joe Thornton had a pretty good game as well. So that's 3 straight goals for San Jose. It's 4-2 after 2, and they outshot Colorado 13-11 in that second period. Pretty fantastic second period for the San Jose Sharks. The third period, going in, all I had to say about it was the Sharks just need to suffocate it. They just need to suffocate the third period, and they really did. Colorado was not getting the lanes to the net that they got against Calgary. Colorado was not getting prime opportunities, and they were frustrated. They were frustrated, but not in a way that they started taking down penalties. There was all kinds of fighting on the ice. There wasn't really a frustration that showed up until about 10 seconds left in the third, with Brendan Dillon taking a slash from Calvert. That's the only time that you can look and say, well, there's some frustration, but that's pretty mild compared to a lot of the other stuff we've seen in the playoffs, right? Vlasic hit a post, so I had to throw that up there because, again, when you're ahead by 2 and you get a play that should have been a goal and it's a post, feels like it could end up being important. The Avs then had heavy pressure. That's around midway through the period. And there were a couple of really nice saves by Jones. And then San Jose just cleared it out, and they did a fantastic job of killing it off from there. Radil missed an empty net. He had a chance to really bury it. And there's a funny thing that happens in these games where when it's a 2-goal game and there's less than 10 minutes left, and the announcer will always say he had a chance to end it there. And I'm thinking, a 2-goal lead, pretty strong. It's very rare, especially in the playoffs. During the regular season, sure. Playoffs, it is rare. It does happen, but it's rare that a team comes back from 2 goals down that late in the game. And then Jones flat out robbed the Avs. So when the Avalanche got a chance, had a fantastic opportunity, that was the only kind of shots they got in that period. Great game by the Sharks. Then Colorado pulls their goalie, and San Jose takes advantage of that as well. Timo Meier gets on the board. Brent Burns with the helper on that one. And your final score is 5-2. The San Jose Sharks with the lead. And look at the shots. They were 5-4 in the third period in favor of San Jose. So the Sharks, 11 wins away from the Cup, matching the total of Boston, Carolina, and St. Louis. So all of those teams now have 5 wins in the bank and 11 to go before they're the Stanley Cup champions. Great game for San Jose. A lot to build on for Colorado as well. I thought this was a really strong game for San Jose, shutting down that first line as well as it can be shut down in a game. And Jones played well. Grubauer saved 22 out of 26. I'm not going to put this on Grubauer because I didn't really think any of the goals were soft. I thought Colorado's defense was more challenged by San Jose than they were by Calgary. But I would be remiss if I didn't say, after Game 1 against Calgary, we were all burying Colorado. There were some Colorado fans that were very, very vocal about how the Avs weren't done. And that was a 4-0 victory by Calgary. So, as much as this game was a very good game for San Jose, they really need to put it to them in Game 2. Do not let Colorado get the split, or Colorado then is in the exact same situation they were against Calgary, where they can just go home, win 2, and all the pressure goes on to San Jose. Martin Jones, 26 saves on 28 shots. Yes, he allowed the early goal, but he was solid after that. This is now 4 straight wins for San Jose and 4 straight really good games for Martin Jones, and those two things are definitely related. So the Sharks, 3 wins away from moving on. Colorado, though, is only 4 wins away from moving on. So yeah, Game 2 is going to be really important. But while we're keeping track of home records, 3 out of the 4 home teams last night and tonight have won their games. So maybe home ice is becoming more important for those top seeds. And maybe it's because they watched what happened to all the division winners in the last round and they're saying, hey, we'd better be careful because these wild cards are pretty good. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.